안녕하세요, 여러분. 이거 원순이와 있습니다. 이거 비디오에서 저는 한국어 문장 말할 거예요. 이거 한국어 문장 있습니다. 내일은 오늘보다 좋아질 수도 있으니까 옷을 따뜻하게 입어야 될 것 같아요. Okay, guys. So, for those of you who are the native speakers or those who speak Korean much better than I do, you've probably seen the difference between the two, like, not two sentences, not two phrases, but this difference where I finished my casual greetings here when I started this learning Korean videos, and the sentence that I've taken, that I'm working on now, the sentence from Talk to Me in Korean YouTube channel. So 12 grammar points in one sentence. And I would like to dedicate this video to the core difference between like fluent sentences and those that, let's say, don't have a flow. And probably that's not the right and that's not the most correct ever way to say, like the sentence doesn't have a flow. But let me just try to explain what I mean by what kind of value do I put in this fluent and flowless in this sort of a case. So here is the point. I do learn grammar rules. That's kind of separate practice. I do learn conversational phrases. That's another practice. I do learn particles actually is the part of the grammar, right? And recently I tried this completely new approach as suggested by Talk to Me in Korean YouTube channel. So they're giving you a sentence and they say, like, first you need just to memorize it. Then you need to speak it as many times as needed to make it fluent. And then we can go for a breakdown, like what in particular this sentence means, like what it formulates, what kind of grammar rules has been involved into it, and so on. And the difference that I've realized, like the difference between those sentences that I can build on my own using like the vocabulary that I have and using the grammar rules that I already know, using the verb conjugations that I've learned so far. And if I just do compare all of this stuff with this like sort of a sentence, there isn't a big gap between those two in terms of fluency. And I mean, like this one really really like sounds fluent, sounds natural, sounds like if you're a native speaker, right? But those sentences that I do compose on my own, they sound really weird. And this kind of fact actually made me think seriously regarding the approach on how to keep on going with learning Korean as opposed to how I've been through English back in the day. So like English is my second language as well, so I'm not a native speaker in English, and I have quite pretty significant experience in learning English, like different stages, etc. And now when I come to Korean, I really want to make this little comparison, like regarding the differences. But this was just like a teaser regarding what this video is gonna be all about. And before we actually go discussing this sort of a thing, I would first I would like to go for kind of like, I don't know, either to call it Korean typing practice or Korean grammar practice or Korean typing and talking and typing and speaking through practice, or I don't know how to call it. So there is an absolutely amazing breakdown by Talk to Me in Korean themselves and what kind of grammar points does this sentence consists of. And what I'm going to be trying to do is somewhat similar, but it would be more like how I understand this as a total beginner. So I don't know how many days do I learn Korean for. I don't know, it's a bit more than 1 week, but it's not 2 weeks yet at the moment, I believe. Yeah, I need to check that out, but I'm not sure really. So yeah, However, it's very interesting. There are really lots of interesting insights in it. So let me just first trying to demonstrate the difference I've been talking about, like the difference between those sentences that I've built using my current knowledge of some grammar points and just for a comparison, I would type and I'll speak and type this sentence, and to give you an idea how different this is. Again, like for those who is kind of like a native Korean speaker, the difference is really seen without an effort. And probably you've probably been laughing when I was saying the sentences I've composed in my own. However, this one sounds way more natural. So without further ado, let's actually go. So 안녕하세요, 여러분, like hello everyone. Nothing much, nothing really special there. And 원순이와 있습니다, like this is good monkey king, like 이거 원순이와 있습니다, like this is good monkey king in like formal 존댓말 form is nothing special as well. So let's stick to 이거 비디오에서 주는 한국어 문장 말할 거예요. 한국어 문장 말할 거예요. So in this video I will speak Korean sentences. So, or Korean sentence, I meant, like with a single Korean sentence. So let's try to write this first, and then let's just have a look at some grammar points that I've currently learned. And again, like, I'm not sure that I do apply them properly. So if any native Korean speakers watching this, please give me an idea where I'm going horribly wrong, if any. I think there should be some. So whatever help, like the proper spelling, the proper grammar are highly appreciated. So I just want to say, like, ego. So this, in this, ego. Then video in Korean, this would be video, which is the Konglish. So it's just like you're trying to type an English word using the Hangul characters. So very simple. So it's spelled as video. This video. So now if I want to say, like, in this video, I need to use a particle. So in this case, I'm using the particle eso. So I'm using this one so. Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. Cheat sheet. I'm sorry. Particles. Oh my god. Where? Oh, here are my particles. I'm sorry. I should have been preparing better for this. So I'm sorry. Horribly wrong. Video. Oh, I'm sorry. Ingo video. It should be like so. Oh no, actually the first one, yeah, so probably I have a mistake in my notebook. Oh my god, that's horrible. So yeah, I was, so in this one, yeah, sorry, yeah, this is the initial that I kind of like have in my head when I don't forget it, right? So okay, ego video is so in this video, and then the official way to say, like, me, I, but literally, as far as I'm aware, currently it's something like this guy. Telling about yourself, like this guy, and then what he's gonna be talking about. So 저는 Jonan, and the topic marking particle, which means that this guy, me, go again, is the topic of this entire sentence. A little bit too selfish, but well, all I can do here. So 저는, and now 한국어 문장, which means Korean sentence. So let's go for it. So 한국어. By the way, 한국어 itself, as far as I'm aware, means like Korean language itself, so it might be used as the Korean language. However, we need the thing called 문장, and jan, like in jangi in Korean chess, 문장, like this, Oh my god, what is that? 이거 비디오에서 not 무 but moonjan. Moonjan. Yeah, okay. I'm armed was really cool, but I actually meant the sentence. So 이거 비디오에서 한국어 문장. And now to speak, 말하다. That's the dictionary form of the verb to speak. So let me quickly write this. So 말하다. This is the dictionary form. Say, it might be to speak, to tell, etc. So in the present form, it would be 말해, like this. Like I speak, like it would be like na 말해, it would be like I speak. Just to give you a very quick idea, so if I say just na 말해, like actually tell me. Well, I meant like it's I speak. I don't know why it translates like this. Doesn't matter. Maraso is apparently would it be like Maraso. Okay. No, Maraso. I said, yeah, this is the past, and the future form would be 말을 sorry 말을 go sorry go yo, and you for polite form go yo, I will say. So now we can take this one, grab it from here and put it in. So I will speak Korean sentences. I'm not sure why it goes for plural, but I mean like the only sentence, but doesn't matter really that much. So this is the sentence that this kind of sort of a example of like the most sentences that I can compose. It's very simple. I try to follow the subject object verb model. So on. So I'm not sure if this is allowed to say like you go video so and then what you want to say. So if this I'm not even sure how this ego video so should be treated as in terms of what kind of part of sentence it is and where exactly to put it. And again, like it's kind of like a tons of questions arising in my head, and if I would ever start thinking about that, I would just go crazy completely and never come back from there. So just to give you an idea, so this is how the sentence that I can compose on my own currently looks like. And if any Korean native speakers out there, please let me know how natural this sentence will sound to you. So 이거 비디오에서 저는 한국어 문장 말을 거예요. 이거 비디오에서 저는 한국어 문장 말을 거예요. Okay, so it's not really that simple to pronounce because I didn't practice this that much as this one. And now, before I will be writing and trying to break down in my coma against understanding like how I get this sort of a question. I will just try to say this a few times. I don't know. I don't really want to turn on this voice recognition. I've been playing around with this in the previous videos, so you can have a look up here in the link, in the pop-up link. A video where I was trying to, and I did actually manage to say this sort of a sentence in the way that Google Translate did recognize every single word. I'm not going to be doing this now. Now I would like to focus on speed and fluency, well, at some point. And I will say this several times, and you just try to listen to it. And for those of you who are not native speakers, you just try to listen to it and to feel the difference compared to this previous one. And again, like the previous one is 이거 비디오에서 저는 한국어 문장 말할 거예요. And the one that I will say just right now in the moment. And for those who are the native speakers, you also please guys kind of tell me the difference if the second sentence that I've learned from Talk to Me in Korean, if it sounds more natural and if it sounds better. So, by the way, the translation of this one is so tomorrow, today as opposed to. So we're comparing tomorrow and today. Colder gets colder. So tomorrow as opposed to today, it gets colder. And that's the reason why we need to take some clothes, and it should be warm. And I don't remember what this means. Okay, doesn't matter. So the general idea is that tomorrow would be colder than today, and that's why we need to put up. Probably just to put up some warm clothes on. So that's the translation of the sentence that I'm gonna be saying now. So let's go for it. 내일은 오늘보다 추워질 수도 있으니까 옷을 따뜻하게 입어야 될 것 같아요. So like if you will ask me to actually read this, it would be way worse compared to when I say it, because another trick, another hack, I don't know, is the way how I memorize it and the way how I read it is not the same. So just to give an idea, so I can try to read this. So 내일은 오늘보다 추워질 수도 있으니까 옷을 따뜻하게 입어야 될 것 같아요. So this is how it sounds when I actually read it. And I've been reading through this really numerous number of times. Again, like the video I've been mentioned already is kind of showing that process in great details. But again, like when I say it, I've been listening to the original, how this guy actually pronounced this is this. I've been listening to Google Translate. So I have some like verbatim understanding, like picture image of how they should sound. So it kind of like sounds in my head, and I'm just trying to reproduce the sound that is similar to what I hear in my head when I think about this sort of a phrase. So 내일은 오늘보다 추워질 수도 있으니까 옷을 따뜻하게 입어야 될 것 같아요. So, and the most fun fact is that when I do say this, my brain doesn't even get in time to realize and to understand what am I actually saying. However, if I start saying this slowly, I would be able to break down things and actually do understand what in particular I kind of say now at the moment. So I will now demonstrate you this just to prove the concept that I'm talking about, and then after I will deliver the final thought and the probably core gist of what this entire video is dedicated to. But the first thing is, again, like, let's go for writing this sentence in. Again, I could have speak this and have the words, but another practice that I walk through is actually typing. I also go for really lots of, just show you my nose, guys. So I've been practicing to write this sentence by hand. So this is the sentence, as I said now. So really many attempts here to write this. So to not only reproduce the sound, but also like at the same time be aware of how it's spelled. So if I would ever see this word somewhere, or if I see this in the text, so I could have recognized what are they all about. So the first is tomorrow. So 내일 is tomorrow. So let's start with this. So I just want to say, oh my god, I already forgot how to. Okay, 내일. So this is tomorrow. So this is just a word to memorize. So 내일, but it uses the object. This is called topic marking particle, topic marker, or in this case, this might be even treated as the object marker particle. So in, and now it's spelled not 내일은 but 내일은. So this kind of sounds like 그래. I might be horribly wrong in the pronunciation, but it's not 내일은, it's 내일은. And the next word is today. So 내일은. So okay, I'll probably be inputting the words like in this manner. So then every next word that I do input would be translated. So 내일은 오늘. And this is just, I'm sorry, 오늘. Hold on a sec, did I? Guys, I'm extremely sorry. Let me just cheat a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. This is horribly wrong. What have I done? So, no, like this. Sorry. Not my writing skills are not that perfect yet. So 오늘 means today, and then the very interesting thing that I don't know whether I should call it particle or what, but it's called 보다. So 보다 itself, it means to see, to watch. And let's say if I want to say like please have a look, I say 봐주세요, which means 보 is like the present form of bada. So there's the verb conjugate. The verb is getting conjugated to the present form. So and 주세요 is something like 주 is actually to give. 주 something like to give. So like give a look to it, or I'm not sure, but 봐주세요 is like please have a look, and yo at the end is like polite form, like sir, could you please have a look at this sort of stuff. So 봐주세요. So but here it also has a second meaning, which means then. So it's used as being explained by Taktam in Korean. By the way, it's very really great video explaining all this stuff in short way, informative, but probably not that in depth. Like I try to do it for myself, like the not that in depth breakdown compared to what I'm trying to do here for my own self. So another way of how to use Buddha, if we have the context of comparing two things, it might be just the comparison. So then today, and now we have this tomorrow, then today, and then what is compared tomorrow and today. So 추워질, it means like 추워 is like cold, it's a regular verb, and 추워 is the present, is the verb that is 추다, apparently is the base form. But 추워, I might be wrong, but 추워 is like the present form, and 추워질 is like something like become, if I remember this properly. So let's try to write this. So 추워, nope, 추워, oh my god, nope, 추워, yeah, 추워, 질, no, probably, sorry guys, my cheat sheet again. So hold on a sec. I did spell this properly, so then why it translates some gibberish? Hold on a sec. Chore should be like cold. Pick it up. No, it's horribly wrong. Sorry, it's not jaw, it's cho. Oh man, not jaw, but chochil. It's different. Yeah, so cool. Yeah, chochil. And jil, like become cold, should be translated like something like become cold. So chochil, get cold. Yeah. So now we have tomorrow, it will be colder than today. But guys, you just have a look how this sentence is different from this one. So like for me personally, this more looks like a programming language. You know, like we can say like if, I'm sorry, we could say like if, and then we have like comparison, like like this. I'm sorry, like this, and then we go for a statement. Like so, like as a programmer, this is what I see when I read Korean. So we have like comparing one to other, or maybe like like this. Like this what I think it it is basically, yeah. So tomorrow, today, we can compare it. So if it would be colder, and then we just do a statement which means like clothe warmly. I don't know, like something like this. Okay, so clothes warmly, something like this. So I know it's weird, but this what comes to my mind, comes to my hand when I actually work with this Korean sentence grammar structure. So let's get rid of this unnecessary stuff. I just wanted to share this quite pretty long time ago. Finally I did. So tomorrow would be colder than today. So we have tomorrow is the topic, and we have today, and we have the comparison, and then what happens is colder, and finally it gets colder. So, and again, like it's not Jill itself, it's actually the more proper way is to say just G. It would still should be the same G, like this, colder than today, because oh my god, this one is tall. It's like I don't even remember what the heck does that mean. It's some sort of, I just don't remember it. I can't memorize everything from scratch. But this part is kind of like a difference. So this is G, like to become verb, the verb to become, and this part is already kind of goes through some different. In Korean, it happens from time to time that you have like that the word, the syllable itself gets changed. It gets sacrificed, like the clarity of a syllable and of the meaning behind it is getting sacrificed for fluency and for more natural pronunciation. That's at least how I understand this. But again, so Jil Suto. I'm not sure what this Suto means, to be honest. Colder than today, so the meaning doesn't change yet. And 있으니까 is to be is like because of, since. So it's like well, and in this particular case, again, I might be horribly wrong, but it feels like this 있으니까, it works as the sentence connector, because we have one big chunk of a sentence and we have this another chunk, and this is kind of like a connector. So I've been wondering, like, if we have the subject object verb and then we need to concatenate two or more sentences, then how on earth do we do this? So we need some sort of a sentence connectors, and I know that's the separate grammar point, but oh my god, this is so overwhelming. And again, like just like composing natural, like some simple sentences, and they sound really unnatural. I can only imagine what kind of gibberish would be if I try to learn about sentence connectors, try to make them on my own, and that would be horribly wrong in terms of not really, won't really look like what the native speakers actually say. So is nope, not like this. 있으니까, not ga, but ga, at least in my understanding. So because tomorrow may be colder than today, and this is the core gist. And now let's go word by word, and then I'll just make this I remove this new line and just make it one sentence. But for now, let's go for, so we have 옷을, which means the clothes, if I'm not mistaken. So finally we have a noun in the sentence. So 옷을, 옷을. Oh my god, nope. Don't tell me. Oh, come on. 옷을. This should be clothes. What the heck does it? Oh my god, guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, did I do this mistake all the times in my notes? Oh, okay. Oh my god, I did write this wrong in my notebook. Oh man, this all goes so wrong. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, I'm so disappointed. Oh man, this should be. Oh, I memorized this in the wrong way. Åsel. Åsel. Okay. Yeah, I just memorized it the wrong way. I was. Damn, this is so weird. So this should be åsel, like this. Åsel. I just missed this empty consonant sound. Åsel, clothes, you know, it's correct. And now we have to deal with the descriptive verb warmly. So how it is, like how to close to clothe warmly. So 따뜻하게. So 따뜻하다 should be warm. I believe. Let's actually quickly check that out. And then we'll use the k, which is another grammar point, which is the, I guess that's called particle, to make an adjective to become a descriptive verb. Oh my god. I'm not sure if that is really the case, but let's go for this. So 따뜻하게. So ta t no, I guess it's calling this ta. Okay. Yeah, and yes, let's drop this one. Da. This should be the base form. Yeah. So this is the base form of adjective. Is this adjective? Yeah, adjective warm. But if we want to like to dress warmly, to turn this into a descriptive verb, we need to say k instead of da. So this is like the particle to convert this. And okay, 따뜻하게. I just like how this is how the next one sounds. So 이보야. So I know that ya is the present, the form of the conjugated to be, like ida is ya, or in polite form, I'm not sure whether this is still panman or chunduman, but that would be ayo. So like, but here it's just like to be, to do, like to wear. It actually translated as you have to, and I'm not sure if it's actually duplicate. I don't really remember the verb to have. Actually, hold on guys, I can reference my Korean vocabulary that I'm maintaining for this sort of purposes. So I think I should have my to have. Oh, ita. So ita is to have. So present tense, it would be iso, isoyo. But what we have here is it's just piup, but same here. I'm not sure why this goes. Okay, so it's still total black box to me at the moment. So iboya, as well as the rest of the sentence. So toil, to dress warmly. So yeah, just some grammar stuff. So it shouldn't be like that. It's not. So yeah, to be is actually this one, and this one like toil. So good. Well, don't remember. He was talk to me in Korean. Has been explaining this. I don't remember what this means. So I need to watch the videos. I don't know, like 100 more times to get it, because it's not a matter of just the blind memorization. It happens like you're just watching this, and wherever you feel the flow, it kind of settles down inside. It just lands in you, and you do memorize this naturally without an effort. However, if you're trying to push some knowledge or phrases or words or grammar points inside with an effort, it just gets forgotten the next day, and that's kind of it. By the way, I heard a very nice tip from Steve Kaufman, who's the American polyglot, who speaks like 20 plus languages. And this is his phrase. So he said, like, you need to let the language in you, let the language to come in you. So it's kind of describing the process, like the language is some sort of a thing that comes in you, and you need to accept that. So you can't push it into you, like with the power, with the pressure. It just won't land there. It would be just that garbage inside. So it should like to grow from within. You need to let it in. So that's another thing. So it's quite natural, at least for me, that there is something that I don't still understand within a single question, even though I can watch this video again, but I just don't understand what stands behind this sort of grammar points and ideas. So for me, they are not on the cards yet. So just to give you an idea. So 입어야 될 것 같아요. And again, like I just like how it sounds, but unfortunately, no idea what does this means. So well, let's try to break down. Will be, yeah, like will be cool. Okay, cool. No, not like this. Kokatayo, without h, just like kokatayo. And the polite ending, polite ending will be same. So again, like these translations doesn't make any sense to me at the moment. I think it will be, well, so here is the deal, guys, that the major problem in English to Korean and vice versa translation is that there is, if you translate the internal meaning of the thought you're trying to deliver, this would be in most cases, this would be like two absolutely different ways on how to build the sentence itself. So things like you think in English and then you try to translate this literally, like word by word, it would turn up as at least fun and weird, I believe, because maybe and I think that probably native speakers won't even understand what you've meant, because they're not used to say about this in that sort of way, at least in my current understanding. And okay, so I think I should wear warm clothes. Okay, and now if we just drop it back here, it now starts finally making sense. So tomorrow may be colder than today, so I think I should wear warm clothes. And this is the entire sentence. So now, guys, well, finally, we're coming to the very gist of what I actually wanted to say. But before this, let me just try to say this sentence a few more times. So, 내일은 오늘보다 좋아질 수도 있으니까 옷을 따뜻하게 입어야 될 것 같아요. And still not fluent at the end. So give me another chance. So 내일은 오늘보다 좋아질 수도 있으니까 옷을 따뜻하게 입어야 될 것 같아요. Well, more or less. I hope more or less just fine. And like I just enjoy saying this, even though I don't understand some parts of this sort of a sentence. But here is the deal. So first, I was so naive that I thought that I would be able to actually try to grab some parts of this sentence and then trying to compose my own sentences. And I actually did this sort of an attempt. And I'll probably now show you one of the attempts, the example of how to use this boda as the comparison of one thing and another thing. However, it didn't really move further, because the major issue is that when you do compose a sentence and you feel like it should be grammatically correct, and in some cases it probably even might be grammatically correct. However, you still have the horrible feeling that the native speakers would just be laughing at you because it's not that way to say that. So you're thinking in the wrong way. The most issue is that you're thinking in the wrong way. And let's say I just remember when I was learning English, there was the same thing to learn. So I'm Ukrainian, but I speak Russian. So Russian is my native language. It's a little bit tricky why that happens, but doesn't matter at the moment. And when I was learning English, I was kind of trying to stop thinking in Russian and then start thinking in English. And when I did actually manage to do that, I became fluent. Yeah, but the fact of becoming fluent itself didn't yet mean that I was speaking naturally. And in English, I would divide like two parts, like being fluent and sound natural as a native speaker. At least trying to sound like a native speaker. It's kind of two different things to discuss. And in Korean, this gap is even greater because, I don't even think that the sentences being composed grammatically correct and being spoken relatively fast might be treated as the fluency. So technically they might be treated as being said fluently. However, I think that it's not so, because the way, the difference between this sort of a sentence and those that I decompose on my own, it's so huge to me. So they are kind of incomparable. And that's another very interesting topic I'd like to cover. But before that, let's go for a little bit more of a practice. So I just want to show you another little thing I've been playing around with. So let's try to take this grammar structure. So we have one object, we have another object, we have a comparison, and we have the final verb that we in the present tense that we want to use. So I decided to take a very simple phrase like women are prettier than men. So, native Koreans might start arguing with me, but I'm saying about people I'm living among. I'm talking about the people I'm living among. Those, yeah. So let's go for it. So if memory serves me correctly, so namja and yoja should be men and women. So let's start. So I want to say that women are prettier than men. So I guess I should start with, so let's go for Korean. So, nope. Come on, hold on a sec. English, Korean, nope. Oh, just like this. Okay. So, so I need to say yocha. So this woman, okay, and as far as this is the concrete, I don't know if I should use ga or nun here. as the object marking particle. Actually, I'm saying about women in general. However, Google actually thinks that guy is more well. Let's try actually more general. So 여자는 and then the man would be 남자. And now the comparison. So 보다, which literally means to see, but in this case being used as, I guess, the particle. This should be like woman in comparison to a man. So 보다 more than man. Yeah, now we have this comparison. And now the word, so pretty, to be pretty, and is pretty. Oh my god, that's too different. So as an adjective and as a descriptive verb, they're not the same. Okay, so it's, oh my god, yep. Yeah, no, this is your pretty. Oh, sorry, yeah. So here it's very handy. So I missed slight little bit. So it should be like, oh man. This should be 예쁜. So this is pretty. But to be pretty, it would be a little bit different. So it would be 예쁘다 is to be pretty, I guess. Let's try this. So I'm practicing the verb conjugations meanwhile, right? So 예쁘다. Yeah, this should be the first one, and in the dictionary form. And I'm not sure, but this is probably in an irregular verb because it doesn't seem to be conjugated in a non-natural way, at least. Oh my god. Okay, so this should be like 예뻐. Yeah, like to be pretty, like is pretty. And now women are prettier than men. Yeah, so this is the spot where I stopped. Yeah, so 여자는 and I'm talking about women in general, but Google actually suggested 가 instead of 는 here. But that would mean like this particular woman is prettier than either man in general or maybe some particular man. I don't even know. But okay, so 여자는 남자보다 예뻐. 예뻐요. Let's listen.
여자는 남자보다 예뻐요.
남자는 남자는 여자는 남자보다 예뻐요. Yeah, so something like, but again, like I can't be 100% sure. And if we just add this G as to become G, yeah, that doesn't work. So what if I try G 예뻐. So I don't remember what this so means, but maybe prettier. So the next thing would be like bearing in mind the fact that women are prettier than men, or since women are prettier than men. So if I say 있으니까 있으니까 because women can be prettier than a man. Okay, so, okay guys, can you see this now? So the structure of this part seems to be absolutely the same. So here we said like 내일은 오늘보다 추워질 수도 있으니까. So because of the fact that tomorrow would be colder than today, then something happens, and here we have, because women can be prettier than men, so 여자는 남자보다 예쁘질 수도 있으니까. And then, so what does that mean? Okay, so let's maybe use something with the clothes as well. So also, so maybe it's harder for them to buy clothes. Yeah, oh my god, I'm not even sure if I would be able to ever to compose the sentence, but okay, this is challenging, so let's try to give it a chance. So I need just to recall some basic verbs. To buy, so duplicate. No, I don't remember how to buy with the verb. That's very basic. Oh my god, I don't remember. Okay, to buy. No, this is not that. To buy something. Sada. I think that. No, sada, is this? Yeah, sada, this is what, so, sayo. Okay guys, another resource that I do use. So if I don't know how to properly conjugate the verb, I use this website, verbix.com, and I just enter the verb here and go in right over in here, and I need the present declarative in informal high. Oh, so it's just yeah like sayo, and that's it. So just dies just drops, so sayo. Okay, so clothes, and let's say less expensive. Yeah, so okay, we can still use this clothes, so 옷을, don't make mistake in this word anymore. So 옷을 less expensive, more expensive. Expensive. Let's yeah, to be son, more expensive. Yeah, I think that this should be to be son. 옷을 더 비싼. And let's just not go for that complicated, or however 더 비싼, and now the verb. What if I use this? Hold on a sec. What happens if I use this 이보야? Because it sounds so nicely. Oh, now that starts making sense. 이보야 들 것 같아요. Hold on a sec. I think she should wear more expensive clothes. Oh man, is this really gonna be the case? Because women may be prettier than men I think they should wear more expensive clothes. Well, maybe not exactly what I meant initially. However, I really like how it. So I think they should wear more. Well, maybe this. If I just get rid of this 이보야 들, so Control X. So I think they should wear. Well, yeah, let's actually. Okay, so let's try to read this. So 여자는 남자보다 예뻐질 수도 있으니까 남자는 여자는 남자보다 예뻐질 수도 있으니까 옷을 더 more expensive 옷을 더 비싼 입어야 될 것 같아요. So what I just trying to pay your what kind of thing I wanted you guys to pay attention at, right? Is we have the entire, well, yeah, I understand, not exactly, doesn't sound that natural, not the most natural translation in English, and I can only guess what this actually means in Korean, for like what native speakers would understand from this. But I just wanted to show you that here are two major parts that I've reused from the previous sentence without even properly understanding what in particular they mean and how exactly. So still they are kind of like a bit of a black boxes to me. However, still by using this sort of a black boxes, I can vaguely imagine what kind of direction my phrase is gonna target. So like I want to say some word in that direction. So as far as I don't have the proper understanding in Korean, because like, yeah, for like less than 2 weeks you can actually have that nice understanding, but it feels like this is something you would like to say, and I would prefer to say a phrase like this to native speakers. And even though the sense might not be exactly what I meant initially, it still would sound way more natural compared if I will try to say the same but in my own words, in my own Korean words. That would be so weird. Okay, guys, so now again, like, dear native speakers, could you please evaluate how natural does this sort of a sentence sound? So let's listen to how Google pronounces this, and then I'll try to pronounce this on my own again.
여자는 남자보다 예뻐질 수도 있으니까 옷을 더 비싼 입어야 될 것 같아요.
Yeah, I don't do that great as Google Translate does. However, 여자는 남자보다 예뻐질 수도 있으니까 옷을 더 비싼 입어야 될 것 같아요. So something like that. So women may be prettier than men, so I think they should wear more expensive clothes. Yeah, so that's kind of the idea. So the idea for me personally, like when it comes to having a flawless vocabulary, like for words, for grammar rules, like whatever, like when you have them in this sort of a way, like just the dead words themselves. Well, obviously they are also on the cards, and yeah, I just have some many stuff here already, and I do have some I do have some phrases that still kind of like trying to make this words a little bit more alive, but still it's not really that great case as as what I now called sentence driven approach. And another absolutely amazing thing is that when I do learn a new sentence, well, actually, this is the only sentence I know in Korean, but Talk to Me in Korean has two more sentences that are much longer compared to this one. So it's like kind of half a page sentence on kind of like a paragraph, really. It's more like a paragraph rather than a sentence. And that's really huge. And I'm gonna be working now that sentence just like I did with this one. And now the core gist, basically. So when I use this so-called sentence-driven approach, it turns out that, well, first of all, I am able to memorize just the bare nouns and verbs much better compared to if they are in this sort of a written form, like separated, right? So it's way easier for me to remember them within the sentences, because sentence is something that I do hold in my memory for some reason, while I can't really like enumerate all of these words like one by one. It would be incredibly difficult for me. So that's the first case. That's the first important point. The second, another important point is that meanwhile remembering this kind of words, some maybe irregular verbs, some patterns like subject, object, verb, sentence connectors, etc. It also is about this, like how I call them, black boxes that I can embed into the newly created sentences. So I use this one, 줄 서라 있으니까, here, and 입어야 될 것 같아요, and here. So both sentences has this 줄 서라 있으니까 and this one 입어야 될 것 같아요. And only the minor part of the sentence was changed. However, this actually allowed me to come up with a completely new sentence. The downside of this approach might be that in some cases it's possible that probably I'm not allowed doing things like this, and that's the reason why I ask native speakers all of the time, like, guys, please tell me if this is valid to do like this or no or not. But still, I think I hope you got my point, actually. And another thing that obviously you can use a single sentence to master the entire language, and using the only sentence to actually speak about the vast majority of topics. So that's the reason why it should be a good idea to learn many different sentences. And again, like what's really good about this one and another two that I'm gonna be introducing in the next videos, hopefully, with first like trying to spell them so Google recognizes them, and then going for this like sort of a breakdown. So the idea is to what's interesting about this question, that Talk to Me in Korean guys, they actually did design this sort of a sentence to contain as much grammar points as possible for learning purposes. So it also might sound not that natural how it would be in the interpretation of the native speakers, say. And some Korean guys like gave commentaries below the videos like, I'm Korean, but I came here to learn Korean. So that's a little bit of a trolling, obviously, but still there is an interesting gist behind this. So like, even if Korean like looks at his own sort of a language, and he feels like there is something else to learn about the language, that's really fun. But the core idea, so I've just started looking for the source of the real world sentences that native speakers actually use. And I think that the major source for me at the moment would be some Korean dramas, which I really like. It's not that easy to find those without Russian voiceover in my country, at least. But I found one on YouTube, which seems to be free, and I think that might be the case for learning. So I really want to come up with some sort of a like bunch of sentences spoken by the native speakers, and then just trying to learn them by heart, try to pronounce them so Google recognize your translation, then try to write them, type them, write them, and then try to break them down, and then try to modify them to use those patterns that are used within the sentences, but apply to the different words, topics, etc. So this is the core gist, basically, of what I've been trying to deliver within this video. And before we end this video in particular, one more thought to think about. So, as I've been mentioning many times before, so I'm not a native English speaker, and English is my second language. And if I look back, like back in the day, like I would divide my journey in English into two major parts. So the first 5 years of complete garbage and gibberish stuff, where it seems like I've been learning some grammar rules, some conversational patterns. I could speak, I could write English text, I could even talk. Probably I just didn't have anyone to talk with, so it's really hard. A part of my teachers, so it's really hard to say whether I was actually able to go for real world conversation or not. Now I am able to go for those conversations, and that's what I do. Sometimes I do it daily because of my freelancing jobs. But now it's totally different because now I've entered the second part of my English learning journey, and I still keep practicing it, basically. So the idea is very simple. I would say that about, I don't know, probably 95% of the words, like vocabulary list, grammar rules, which I don't even think about, to be honest. I don't remember any single English grammar rule. If you just try to ask me as if it was an exam, I would probably fail that exam. So yeah, I would probably be just like some average at most, right? So some vocabulary, some grammar points, some phrases, phraseological phrases, say things like that. What else? Like 95% of what I actually do use currently is something that I've taken from English content, like YouTube videos, and yeah, basically from YouTube videos, because I don't really have any other content but the videos. But again, like, so I've been listening to really numerous videos, and I realized that things that how I've been spoken those kind of sentences, things how I was expressing my thoughts, and the way how I thought I was thinking in English wasn't actually the way how you should think in English. Like, I thought I was thinking English, but I was horribly wrong. And all this stuff together actually allowed me to fill a flow that native English speakers kind of have, right? And they do follow that flow, they do express that flow. And that's why it's so ear-pleasing to listen to how they speak. And currently, when I listen to like native English speakers, I really enjoy that, because I'm no longer thinking about words, so I don't understand every single word I hear. But yeah, still, it's a bit tricky thing that, despite the fact I do understand every single word, when I watch YouTube video, still I might not be getting every single word in the voice-over conversations, like via Skype or Google Hangouts or whatever, even with the native speakers, because so still the video format is more explicit, more clear to understand, but when people actually chatting to each other, it's not that clear. And even English movies, even for now, still for some reason English movies that are all in English are not always that clear because of the accents, mostly, especially things like Game of Thrones. It's like how many actors, that's the number of the accents you have there, so everyone speaks in his own accent. It's not really that easy. There is some very complicated British accents, etc. So yeah, that's kind of a bit of an issue. But the major thing is that my current achievements in English actually started being available only after I dropped only after I've dropped completely everything I knew before and switched to this sort of a flow-driven approach. So when I just have enough knowledge to grab someone's flow when he speaks English and when he thinks in English, when he expresses himself or herself, and just to try to put this on, like if this is what the cloth is, right? And then try to mimic this sort of a thing. That's another applications of what I call communication skill, right? So, and that's the way to go basically. And then just really lots of practice. So if you have a look at my channels like this, communication has really lots of videos where mostly they were programming videos. I was practicing like to write code and to talk in English at the same time. And another channel which is my main kind of professional channel, like a chess programming. So there I did the same thing, but it's even a bit more complicated because chess programming is way more complicated compared to web scraping, say, or whatever I've been doing in regards to programming here in Komakikin's channel. So yeah, that's the case. And now I'm thinking that learning Korean, which is my third language. Well, I'm counting Russian and Ukrainian as the one language. However, they are not the same. But still, I just think they just quite pretty look like each other, basically, quite pretty similar, right? To count them as the single language. So Korean is my third language, and I just think that like when you didn't learn a new language yet, you don't really know how to approach properly. How you don't yet have an experience of learning a new language, right? But now I really feel that, like when I started this, what I call sentence-driven approach or flow-driven approach, I really feel like just after learning this single sentence, just after working this out and breaking it into particles and trying to come up with some sort of sentences that I compose on my own, I really feel a real progress, believe it or not. Maybe it's not seen from the outside, and maybe native speakers would be laughing at me at this point, but I really feel that progress. And I think that actually grammar rules and vocabulary and everyday phrases, so all the stuff they teach, it should be serving the actual patterns that are coming from the native speaker's flow and not on the contrary. So it shouldn't be like you're spending your life to serve these grammar rules, grammar points, and these conversational phrases. So it would be just a dead language in that case. It would sound like Korean, but it won't be Korean really. So I think that's the reason why people actually prefer to go to Korea and interact with a native speaker there. Well, I don't have that opportunity, and probably even if I did have that, I wouldn't consider that it's a bit too long to explain why. And for me, I really like the pure experiment because it's way easier to start talking if everything around is in the language that you're learning. But you just to give you an idea, I've never been to English-speaking countries, and my current level of English itself is a completely like a self-taught thing. Well, I did have some classes many years ago when I was just learning grammar and basic things, but the actual conversational stuff that allowed me to listen to English like content and understand every single word and try to express my own thoughts in that language as well. That's something that I came up with as the self-taught guy, right? And again, I've never been to those English-speaking countries, and that's the reason why the way how I speak might be a little bit unique in terms of not so cool, but in terms of maybe some sort of mistakes that I wouldn't be making if I have been to English-speaking countries and if I've been living there. But still, I think, so it's really interesting to go for this pure experiment. And now this sort of an experiment goes with the Korean as well. So we'll see how it goes. And in the next videos, guys, I'm gonna be, I hope, I'll prepare a few more sentences to work with, and at very least I think this is really just a fun approach, because again, like, I don't know how you guys, but when I was breaking down this sentence, I felt like I know so many things about Korean grammar, but trust me, I really don't. and all my knowledge is just based on a few videos, so it's not really that big amount of information, but this sentence driven and flow driven approach actually allows to bring all this stuff together, and you finally start kind of understanding this from within. So without pushing the language in you, but just letting the language in to make it settle down and to grow from within, and then make it start getting expressed worldwide. Not worldwide, getting expressed outwards, right? So that's sort of a thing. So this is it from my side, guys. 이거 비디오에서 좋아해 감사합니다. And yeah, I really need to learn some phrases like yeah, probably thanks for watching would be 봐주세요. 봐주세요 감사합니다. 이거 비디오에서 봐 감사합니다. Yeah, probably. But again, like, this sounds weird. This is probably correct, like 이거 비디오에서 봐 감사합니다. Like, thanks for watching this video. But there should be a much better way of saying this. And also, I remember there is like goodbye if you're living but the guys are staying, like probably should be the case of YouTube, or otherwise if they are living and you're staying. So yeah, I don't remember those by heart, really need to recall them as well. And yeah, also it would be a good idea to grab some native Korean bloggers actually saying this intro and outro phrases, as I've been mentioning in the beginning of this video, and just trying to grab those, trying to work them out and trying to apply to my own channel as well, so to sound a little bit more natural. So yeah, 이거 비디오에서 봐 감사합니다. 안녕. I'm sorry, the most important thing. 안녕.